you all aware about, like, the whole industry is talking about AI, artificial intelligence is going to take over the world, to every world. And so this is the right time to talk about this particular topic. And I know that there are many people over here, like, would like to create an application on top of AI, or else, like, you want to build your own AI model. There is difference between that. I will explain all those things. So, like, whenever you are creating an application on top of any so suppose you are creating an application based on AI, you need to choose a right path in that way. So that I am going to share my experience on choosing the right way to build the application. So I am Raja Vasantan, and I'm a founder of a company called Grits and Guides, and an online community called Each One Teach One, and I'm a startup founder of Intelligent Quotient Private Limited. So, like, Grits and Guides is it's a service-based company. We do mobile application, web application, and Each One Teach One is a online community where we used to teach computer programming and AI in native languages. And Intelligent Quotient is a startup where I built, we are a team of 3 members who built some AI products, and we are incubated in IIT. So this is a short intro about me. So when you are creating an application, when you create a AI application, there are many ways to create a AI application, right? So one is using existing AI model like Llama or OpenAI. So how many of you used OpenAI as a API? Not ChatGPT, not about ChatGPT. Yeah. Okay, OpenAI as a API. So, like, you are using ChatGPT, right? So the ChatGPT has a API provision where you can hit that API and get the response, right? Similar to Llama. Llama is a AI model which you can host in your local machine and get the response from the AI model. So the second method is Retrieval-Augmented Generation, which is called RAG. So this RAG is kind of a popular concept which is going right now. So, like, suppose imagine that you are like the audience are like very like students are there, full stack developers are there, and AI experts are there. I'm just trying to balance everyone, so I can go some basics concepts. So pardon me, like, okay. So Retrieval-Augmented Generation is a concept like where you have a PDF document. This model doesn't have any knowledge of this PDF, right? So what you can do is, actually, we can vectorize that data, and you can give the data to AI model. I will come to this part later, what is vector and how this AI models are performing and all those things. But just understand that you are extracting the information from your PDF and giving that to AI model and asking the AI model to beautify that content and returning back. This is the overall thing which is happening. And the third thing is fine-tuning the existing model. Like, for example, Llama is a model, open source model, which is released by Meta. So what you can do is, if you have a proprietary data set in your organization, like recently a company released a model called BioLlama, right? What they did is, the Llama model, they fine-tuned that Llama model to perform for a particular industry that is called medical industry. So if you go and ask any questions regarding medicines or any kind of hospitals kind of thing, so that Llama will be answering good when compared to the original Llama. So what they did is, they took that Llama model and fine-tuned with their own data set and released at a BioLlama, right? So you can fine-tune that model and building the model from the scratch. So everyone can know, like, if you have a data, you can build the whole model from the scratch, and you can deploy them, right? So before going to the, like, which approach you need to take. For example, if you have a requirement, you are going to build a AI model, AI application, what kind of approach you need to take? This is the question we have, right? So before understanding the answer, like, first of all, we need to understand what is meant by AI. What is AI model? Everyone is speaking about model, AI model. Like, what is that AI model? We are going to dive deep into that model, and we are going to see what is inside that model. So we all know that traditional way of programming is you have a rules and you have a data. If you give that rules and data into a black box, it's called programming language. If you pass that function data into a function, that function will return a result. This is what traditional programming language knows, like we are all doing that. But when it comes to machine learning, what the point is, we have answers and we have a data, and we are going to pass that data into a kind of a black box, and that black box is going to return a rules. How that is, it is going to figure out the rules, right? It is not going to write any code, but it is going to figure out the rules based on the data which you have given. This is a high level like definition for model, AI model. So this is the thing, and I'm just want to ask a question. If I input 30 as an input and I'm getting 86 as output, and 35 it is 95, right? And 40 it's 104, 45 it's 113. If it is 50, what will be the output? Please, any guess? So you are passing some input and you are getting an input output. 100 is correct. How? Yeah, like it's a Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion formula, right? So this is what the AI model is doing. You are giving, you know, we all know the input and we all know the output. When we pass this two data into a model, this model is trying to figure out that two numbers. What is the two number? 1.8 and 32, right? This is called a weights. Okay, this is called a weight. So if you open any AI model, you will be finding two files. One is called the parameter files, and you will be finding another small file with some programming language, like it can be in C language or Python or something like that. So this parameters, right? If you open this parameter and if you see that file inside that, you will be seeing lots and lots of numbers. Okay, it will be a random, not a random, for us it is a random number, but that model has some kind of rule to come up with that particular number, right? So this parameter, each and every number will be a 16-bit number which will occupy around 2 bytes. So like if it is a 70 billion parameter model, then the file size will be around 140 GB. So this is what we are saying as Llama 750 billion model, Llama 13 billion model. This is what we are seeing. So if you open that file, you will be seeing numbers where the model has arrived at weights, like because they have given a data and it understands the data and it tuned itself to give the weights, right? So these are all the numbers which you will be having as a parameter inside the model. So how this this file came out, this 140 GB of file, like how it came out, right? There are lots and lots of data in the internet. So what they will do is they will just give the data into the model is nothing but, again, it is a kind of a neural network. Like if you go deep into people who built, and PhD scholars and researchers who whenever I talk to them, like what they say, at some point of time they are saying that work out like this is what the some people will say that. So they will be passing this data into that model, and the model is coming up with the weights and parameters. So again, if you pass another data, this data will go and align with that numbers, and it will produce a output flow. So like for us, for a human, we can differentiate between image, text, video and audio, right? But for AI model, everything is a vector. Vector is nothing but you can imagine as a matrix. Okay, what's simply happening here is it's a matrix, 2 by 2 matrix, or multiplication of matrix, or addition of matrix, or subtraction of matrix. This you can imagine in school days we would have done like multiplication of 2 by 2 matrix and 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, 4 by 4 matrix we have not done in our school days also, right? but this AI models will do n into n matrix multiplication. So that's the where we need the power of GPUs, graphical processing unit. So this is a kind of a technology which is very interesting when you go deep and learn the mathematics of machine learning and these things. Definitely everyone please learn a little bit of mathematics which is happening behind the AI model, which is very, very interesting, and you'll be loving it, right? So you know that we have four ways to create a model. So four ways to do a AI application. One is taking a existing AI model, and one is a retrieval augment. So retrieval augment is the point where I said, like, so everything will be converted into this vectors, right? And we have a separate database called vector database. So there is a new term called vector database. So we all know that SQL database, NoSQL database, and GraphQL, time series database. These are all the existing database type, and we have a new type is called vector database. So what happens is this PDF formats and all the documents will be converted into vectors and stored in a database. So whenever you ask a query, so this will go and search with that existing vectors. How many of you have used Elasticsearch? So Elasticsearch is a kind of a vector search, doing a kind of vector search, and it is giving a match. So all kind of search algorithms will do this. So that technology have been advanced a little bit, and we have a separate database called vector database. So through that database, this RAG is happening. So fine tuning is taking an existing model and building on top of that, right? So now, when to create a model? So when should I create my own model? This is the question. Like everyone asks me, like, sir, I'm going to, I have idea. So like, shall I build my model? Okay, I want to create my own AI model. This is what the question is. That's also okay. But since I'm working in a service-based industry, so whenever I go for a client meeting, the client will say that simply, ஒரு AI model create பண்றீங்கப்பா, அவ்வளவுதான் அப்படின்றாங்க. Like what AI model, creating AI model is not a easy thing. Like it will cost and all those things. So what kind of approach you need to take when you are creating a AI application? This is what we are seeing. So, okay. So first of all, we need to understand the task information. What kind of task we are going to perform, right? This is the thing which we need to first understand. So if the task is based on the external data source, right? For example, you have a data in a PDF or a database or in a document or in a S3 bucket, anywhere you have an external data source and you want the up-to-date information. For example, if I'm going and searching right now, I want the LLM to answer the answer should be very recent answer. It should not be an old answer, right? So if your requirement is like that, you need to go in this way. I will tell what is that here. And if your requirements are a consolidated result, like you don't care about the real time concept, even the data is little bit old, you are okay with that. If that is a scenario, you need to go in that way, right? So the next question you need to ask yourself is whether it is a simple task or real time is required, right? So if it is a real time required, so relatively static information, the next question you need to ask is whether that real time information is going to change each and every second, or it is going to change for monthly data or 1 month or 2 months or 1 day. So that is the next question you need to ask, right? So if the relatively it is static information, like for example, you generate a PDF today and that PDF is going to stay long for next 1 month. After 1 month only, it is going to change. Let's take an example as a company report, okay, final annual report or something like that. So if that is your scenario, then you need to go for RAG, that is Retrieval-Augmented Generation, right? And your information is dynamic. Like for example, each and every time the stock market predictions are going changing, right? You are going to create a chatbot which is going to answer what is the stock price of L&T before 1 hour. If you want to ask this question and the LLM model wants to reply that, the best way to go is the agents. That is, what is agent? Agent is nothing but everyone, have you anyone worked on Dialogflow, like any kind of a chatbot? Dialogflow or Rasa. In Python, there is a framework called Rasa, and in Google, there is a framework called Dialogflow. Dialogflow is a chatbot, like where you can give a certain inputs. So based on the based on the FAQs, right? In all the websites there will be a section called FAQ, frequently asked question. So what they will do is they will feed every frequently asked question in a tree kind of a concept, and whenever we ask some question, like it will answer, right? What we can do is we can connect that with the LLM. So what happens is whenever we are asking a question, if the Dialogflow or if the chat framework is not aware of that answer, immediately it will go and fetch the information that will connect with the APIs. You can connect with that APIs and you can curate that content from the database and give it to LLM, and you can build a chatbot on top of that, right? So similarly, like if your content is going to be a very dynamic content which is going to change each and every minute, and you want the users to be given a real-time updates, then this building this agent is the thing, right? Then let's come to this point. Okay, so consolidated historical info, and it's going to be a simple task, like you are going to ask a question and the model is going to return some data, right? So in this it is split into two things. Okay, one is simple or generic and one is complex or specific. So simple or generic in the sense, like you don't worry about anything, you just want some information. Instead of going and searching in Google, you are going and searching in ChatGPT, right? So this kind of thing, like you can go and achieve this with the prompt engineering. You don't want to build, or you don't want to build any chatbots, or you don't want to build any RAG application or something like that. So you can just go with the prompt. And suppose if your task is going to be a specific task, that is, I want my model to be it wants to be precise for a particular area, particular domain, then there is no way you need to customize the model, right? You have to customize a model, and there is no way that you need to train the model. This is where you need to spend a lot of money, and either you go for a fine tuning or do a training concept. You can train your own model. But if your applications are very simple and generic, you just want the LLM to get the answers, give the answers to you, then you can go with the prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is something, but like as I said, like OpenAI has a APIs over there. If you just put a prompt and it will respond, what you can do is you can chain this prompt one by one, and you can make that to work as a real AI chatbot. Like there is a lots of framework called LangChain. So LangChain will perform very good in this kind of thing. And fine tuning, where there is no way, like you need to take the model and you need to have a proper data set, right? If you want the AI model to perform very good on a specific task, the next question is like whether do you have a data set for that particular specific task. So if you have a data set, yes, go with the training process, spend money, and definitely that will be a there is a concept called a moat in startup, right? So what is moat? Like if you are building a startup today and you are spending a lot of time, suddenly Google is announcing a small feature, then your startup is gone, right? So which means that you don't have moat, right? So that is called moat. So when you have a data set in your organization, when you have a data set in your company, then that data set is called as a moat. So whenever we are analyzing it, so if the company is having a data set and they have their own model, then which means that no one can come and attack you that much easily, right? You have the strong this thing in your company. So that is where those things goes. So hope you understand this thing, and if you have any doubts, you can ask. So that's all from my end. So if you have any questions, you can. Yeah.
Even the previous presentation, so every one of us here knows something about AI. trying to follow on latest news on AI. But still, when you share this, it looks like a lot of learning that you had, or a lot of information you did. So how an engineer can ensure he stays relevant or up to date with such tech things that are happening? So how do you, and also question to the
Okay, my answer is always get your hands dirty, like sit and work. That is the only way to get knowledge. When you sit and work and try to get some output, definitely that output is not going to come. Okay, suddenly you will start figuring out why it is not coming. At that time you will go and learn. When you are learning these technology, these terminologies, these concepts will come to know. After that you can go and dig more, like for, see for example, before 1 year, I don't know the word called rag. Okay, the rag, right? I don't know that word, but at some meetup or some person said that use the word called rag. I don't know what is that. I just go and searched in internet, and after that, that opened me a very big gate. Okay, so that is the way to go and learn. That's like you can share your answer also.
Yeah,
Like you.
so no, actually, one good point that you mentioned is about being hands-on. So, whatever thing that we show here is, as Vivek mentioned, it's a kind of was finance. But before that, we all spent at least 5 months to 1 year on trying out different things and fail. So one thing is that whether it works or not, right? And to give yourself a better one, I think most of the engineers do, but not, but certain people are not. You can follow some platform like Happiness or just keep something, but keep it as a habit to go through the news. Right? Some routine that they make.
If I may add a little to it, so I said happening. So basically, we have to keep up with news. There's a lot of news in the field of AI. So hacker news is a good place, and then follow what the community is doing. Fortunately, we have some activity now in Chennai where companies are working in that field. So pending.
Yeah.
Twitter is one place where a lot of discussion.
So I came to know about this rag word today.
Yeah, go and explore this word. Definitely that is a good opportunity to start with AI applications. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, okay, thank you so much.